Last week, Kieran and I did a 100+ kilometer trek in Patagonia while Megan was working on the boat. This week, we take advantage of a marina stay to tackle some thorny projects we've been putting off. Come have a look. My biggest concern is that there's some sort of dramatic collapse that bends the shaft and sinks the boat. You know, that's the end of Scout. And to do a sea trial to see if we successfully addressed our painfully slow motoring from Colombia.
Ready for a sea trial? We're gonna test out those engines, see what our props can do.
Wait until you hear the solution to that problem. And can you really fix a steady leak with a straw? Come find out.
Remember that last passage where we ran out of fuel? Won't happen again, not for a long time. We are here at the fuel dock in Shelter Bay Marina, and we are loading up something like 200 gallons of fuel, plus a few jerry cans.
So I've got a project I've been dreading a bit, but no putting it off. I've got to do it now. Sitting here in Panama, completely irresponsible to go through the canal and across the Pacific with it. Engines on boats sit on mounts, like this one. Sometimes there's a crossbar between the mounts, which attaches to the engine itself, which is the case on Scout. You can see here the crossbar for the engine, and above one of the screws just here, there is a crack. I noticed it a little while ago. It may last for, might last for years. It might break while I'm filming this. The engine has not dropped. It's not out of alignment. The shaft is spinning properly. So it hasn't caused damage yet, but it's a problem waiting to happen. In order to get this fixed, the welder is going to have access to it on both sides. So I'm going to have to take the mounting bar out, which means I gotta sit the engine on something. So that's the hard part. I'm gonna try to put wood underneath it as tight as I can and then drop the engine onto the wood, hopefully just a little bit, take the screws out, take the bracket off, get that fixed, and then do everything in reverse. There's no two ways around it where I'm gonna have to then try to get it right back to where it was. I'm gonna take measurements, I'm gonna take pictures, but that's my biggest concern. Well, my biggest concern is that I put the wood shims on wrong, and there's some sort of dramatic collapse that bends the shaft and sinks the boat, and that's the end of Scout. Second biggest concern is that I don't get the engine aligned properly afterwards. With the supports in place, it was just a matter of fighting with some nuts that hadn't moved in a long time.
He's no longer resting there.
And slowly lowering the engine onto the support.
You're no longer resting there. All right, we're free.
Not complicated, but hard, sweaty work.
Come have a look.
When I got it off and gave it a good look, it was worse than I thought. I'm not sure this was carrying any weight at all. Regardless, definitely need to get it fixed.
We just got a new display panel for our air conditioner that's been out of commission for a while. Nate's been tinkering with it, and I think he's got it fixed. So I am making a new faceplate for the display panel on our what was once a really ugly screen. Goes down here. it's gonna fit nicely over the air conditioning, give it some ventilation, and hopefully it should look a bit prettier. And this is what I'm working on. I'm using a little piece of white plastic, and then I'm going to use to cover the panel and do my little cutouts. I've moved inside, and I'm now going to be drilling holes into the faceplate. Let's see how it goes.
Look at this. It's like not even the same piece of metal. Same day service. So it goes like this. This is where there wasn't even a complete hole. And the crack ran up through here. What he did, the whole bar here, he added, welded it here and all in. So doubled the thickness of this. Repaired my screw holes. But also, this was at an angle where it had bent, and it's now straight across. So I'm definitely going to need to do some re-leveling. But boy, I am in business. It's been a good day.
Engine mounts, or in my case, a bar between the mounts, obviously have to hold the engine up. But just as importantly, they need to hold the engine in the exact right place. Why? Because if it isn't lined up correctly with the transmission coupling, the prop shaft will vibrate when spinning.
See if we can get this puppy back on.
Between how it's supported outside the boat and the entrance into the boat, the prop shaft doesn't have much play at all. So it's critical to have both the engine height and angle in line with your propeller shaft.
Nothing's ever easy on a boat. With that guy in, he doesn't want to line up. Best guess, the bar had developed a bow. I'm going to do a little Spanish windlass action in there.
A Spanish windlass is a way to tighten a rope between two objects. If the objects are equal strength, it will pull them together. Or, if one is immovable, it will pull something towards that. I have one end of the line around the back bracket, which in this case is essentially immovable, and the other around the bracket I'm trying to bend into place. I then put a wrench in the loop and start twisting. It worked. I got the bracket back on the mount. It took a lot of effort to work the bolts connecting the engine back in, but I managed to do that too. Unfortunately, it was a misguided effort. Putting so much torque on the mounting bar pulled the engine forward and created a large misalignment issue.
I have a steady drip. Not even a drip, it's a stream. Which means the shaft is not even close to aligned. It's out of the little shaft seal, which is creating where the drip is coming through, the stream is coming through. Well, the only way it doesn't get fixed is if I give up. And just to be clear, I'm not giving up.
We are on our way to take the bus into Cologne to get some provisions. I think we can do better.
beautiful. Yeah, it's amazing to me that in this day and age, stuff like that still exists. I just think my grandmother when I think that.
There's a fly in it. There's a dead fly on there.
It might be from Christmas last year.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anybody buys those anymore. My best guess is this is yeast. I'm going to feel silly and annoyed if it's not. Yeah, good helper. Family together time is great, and so is one-on-one time with the kids. So while I was out shopping with Eily, Megan and Kieran did some playtime as well.
Let's see it, bud. Woo! Look at that fly. Nice, right down the middle.
You smashed that one.
A couple days later, holes expanded. It's not the most beautiful job, but it should work. It did work. I was able to get the bracket back on without generating unwanted torque. However, the leak proved persistent. Ultimately, I got it to go away with continued tweaking of the shaft alignment. But something else that can help is adding some lithium grease to the shaft seal.
Ready for a sea trial? We're gonna test out those engines. See what our props can do. You guys feel that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the breeze.
You're not even paying any attention.
I am paying attention.
All right, Megan. I'm going to ask you to get on the helm. I'm going to go down to the engine room.
Okay.
I want to kind of go there at 2,000 RPMs. I'm gonna do 2,000 RPMs, and I want you to not maintain this general heading and not run into me. Can you have one of the kids hand me down a light?
Kieran, Daddy needs a flashlight. I don't know, bud.
It's okay. Good news, we motoring well over 5 knots either which way. The shaft is spinning well. Barely any off at all.
That was great.
Successful sea trial in hand. Join us next week as we contemplate whether to head back to the Sandblast Islands or go directly through the Panama Canal. Thanks for watching.